Starting something new today. New project. Hoping to have the best day ever. All right, off we go. Episode 1. I want to get Mr. Bell.
Take the next right onto Baseline Road.
Behind a garbage truck. Slowing things down a little bit. Okay, we're here at Mr. Bill's house. Yes, that's where the fun happens. Yeah. How long have you been collecting rack stuff?
Not that long actually. I mean, I got this like a year ago, and then since then got that because I was like, oh, maybe I'll just get like some semi-modular stuff because, you know, you can spend like $2 grand or $3 grand before you even have like a complete signal path. There's a few. This one's a classic. Clouds is really sick. It's basically like a hardware granulizer slash, I don't know, they call it a texture synthesizer, but it basically sounds like a granulizer. This one's really cool, Morphogene. It's like a hardware sampler. Really nice, like boutique touch filter. And then this one's really cool. This is sort of just like, it's a way to kind of automate parameters, I guess. Maths is like a really nice envelope. Tempi is a really sick clock divider.
So for clock divider, like what use? What's the basic use for that?
Well, to divide the clock. So, so basically, like if you imagine Ableton's metronome,
right?
Let's say you fed Ableton's metronome into here.
Quarter notes. You could then turn this into 16th notes from that.
Yeah. So, well, here. So, like, so let's say that I took the actual clock from, like, say this step sequencer.
Okay.
And then ran that into there. You can see it's taking the clock input and just running at that speed. That's going to be double the clock speed. Yep. If I hit this one divided by 2, that's going to be half the clock speed. So basically, like, you're taking the clock speed and just like multiplying it or dividing it, and then you can send that to multiple places to bang shit at different times and whatnot. And you can create beats this way, I guess, if you ran like all of these outputs into the triggers of the drums and whatnot. Yeah, it's just a cool way to sequence beats.
That's awesome.
I was always like a software person, like massively for the longest time, and I always kind of, I didn't think synths were dumb, but I was like, yeah, you don't need them, you know, like, and I still believe that, you don't need them, but it's definitely fun, like it's just a different way of working, you know, if you're in software, sometimes you can get a bit stale just pulling samples out and pulling synths in and all that stuff, whereas if you try and get to the idea from here, it's like much more hands-on and just a different process.
I used to run stuff out to my Moog Little Fatty, you know, like sequences, and then just kind of like do the most subtle moves. Yeah. You get a lot of mileage out of that.
Totally. I'm just going to find my girlfriend, tell her I'm out.
Alrighty. We had a nice day. It was freezing the last couple of days.
Dude, it's so weird, like the weather here in Denver, right?
Yeah, it's gone crazy.
So I noticed that you said you weren't doing shows for a while, and then slowly over time you're kind of still doing like farewell show, farewell show, farewell show.
Well, it was just a really poorly rolled out, you know, finale tour, like where I wasn't like trying to really milk that, but when I was trying to get a bunch of gigs, that was important information to tell the promoters that, like, yeah, well, this is his last time around. But then they jumped on that right away, and so people that got the early shows, people were like, oh, it's your last show? I'm like, well, actually, it's in November, but it's my last, like, run. It just was unclearly defined, and, you know, it just kind of petered out there at the end.
You can get to a point, I feel like, where you sort of, not half in, but like where you're doing less and still making a decent living, like someone like Tipper, for instance. They'll just do like, you know, 10 shows a year maybe, and it's like good enough.
Highly concentrated form. He really stuck to his sound and his being the background. Like, he doesn't really make a big deal of himself. He's not visible on stage,
right?
You know.
Yeah.
And little things like that where they've been able to make a much bigger footprint with less shows.
Oh, he's been doing this for what, 20 years or maybe even longer.
Yeah. Is this 25 right here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's south. We want north.
Yeah, yeah.
My bad. Dave Tipper he's a big influence on my early VibeSquaD stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Did you kind of come up in the Burning Man community?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Why am I not finding her? We're gonna have to use the map. I mean, there was a point in my life when being on the road was the whole point of anything. Like, yeah. I just wanted to get away from, it's when I first left Chicago in a band called Boogie Shoes, driving around in a van with a trailer and just doing, but pre-internet. So no one knew who we were and we had no way of like really setting anything up.
You got a lot of positive response for your music?
It seems that way. We're having a lot of fun, you know? We're having a lot of fun. People are coming out and getting crazy.
What's the dynamic, I guess, for the group that keeps you guys together?
Well, I mean, I think we all can get really amped up on, you know, like a really positive scene and play like funky music and just try to get some deep grooves. And, you know, we're always hanging out laughing, making up rhymes together. And so it's just kind of a natural thing for us to take into a stage and goof around, you know?
You guys are all real good friends, too.
Yeah, this is our crew, you know? We all hang out. It's cool. Yeah, we went out after this one night, where were we, in Bloomington, Indiana. We went to this crazy pool hall bar, and Mr. D was acting nuts, and he had a little tape deck because he likes to make samples, and he's accidentally...
Like anytime we freestyle, he tapes it in.
He tapes it in the van, so he had it with him, and some crazy girl was asking him questions, so he held up the tape deck, and then she saw the tape deck and freaked out. Give me the tape, you can't record me, that's illegal, give me the tape. And everybody in the bar just all of a sudden went nuts and grabbed Mr. D, who's a skinny kind of guy with a cane and a hat.
He don't have any bones.
No bones in his body, and they're throwing him against the wall. And so Rich, our sax player, I mean, these guys are, you know, they're just like going nuts. And so he's like, we don't have the tape. And meanwhile, Mr. D had slid me the tape sort of like behind him. And so I had a tape deck in my pocket. I was like, I don't have tape. I don't know what's going on. So there was a riot in the club. They got tossed, thrown, fired down a flight of steps out there. And we escaped in somebody's car.
And it's on, and it's on, and it's on, and it's on. Yo, shameless, fearless, I maintain yes, but not peerless. The situation, it wasn't heritage. Ha! But I remain stubborn, nigga, long story short. I got my short, it's a funny really good, yo, but that's not good. I mean, but that's the movie, if I try to go, this is the reason don't let that over to careful and stone. Man, motion to Chicago.
Playing a set in your lounge room or writing music in your bedroom, I find is kind of a strange thing, because a lot of the time it's like you're almost writing it or playing it for a hypothetical audience that you make up in your head.
Yeah.
And you're like, I imagine that they will be into this.
It's weird.
And it doesn't make any sense, because they're just like this abstract idea of people that you don't even know exist.
Right, and it's even weirder when like no one shows up at the moment, you know, like logs in and you have 3 people watching or whatever. You kind of got to commit to it at that point.
Yeah, so I imagine with the Bass Nectar stuff, that you were probably not even doing theaters, you're probably doing more like stadiums, right? Or,
Yeah.
like when was this?
Mostly, this was 2012, the Vava Voom tour, and it was like
So how
basketball arenas.
Yeah.
And
how many people were coming to these shows?
The lowest on the tour was 2,000 and the top were 10,000.
That's insane.
It was totally insane, and for me, you know, tagging along.
Played a show in 2015 in Nashville, Tennessee, at a festival called Creatures of the Night, and there was like this tent, like one of those big makeshift tents they put up at festivals, and there was like 1,500 people in this tent raging to G Jones, and then I had to play directly after him, and like I shit you not, man, 1,400 people left. There was like 100 people on the bar at the front, and that's it. And I was like, what in the fuck just happened? And that was like a massive kick in the teeth, because I was just like, this sucks. I felt so shitty about that for months, like for fucking months. I was like, what did I do wrong? Like I was so weird about it. And then I just realized it was like I was going after G Jones in Tennessee. Like, what could I do?
Right.
He's huge in the South, and he plays massive banging stuff. It's a huge bass community down there. So like, yeah, it was just bad timing. Like I should have played before him, or like, you know, even before the guy before him. Like,
and it's like, I don't know if anyone really who hasn't been through that understands.
Have you had an experience like that?
Oh my God. Have I had an experience about that? Yeah. We're going to go inside my house and we're going to set up for an interview in the basement and we'll tell some horror stories from the road. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right. What's up here? That's Jeremy. She's almost 2, so she's still a puppy. Hey Jerry, why don't you take Bear and go do some stuff so we can... Office, studio, video, audio, workspace, creation station.
That's a great space. You got the Adams with the ribbon tweeters.
At the Adams and...
4 screens.
That's PC, that's the Mac, and that's like a video monitor for sometimes when I run a camera in here so I can see what's going on. Little by little, getting it together in here.
Yeah, dude, awesome. Yeah, you got all those guitars. You're in the Zilla band, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you said you rolled the credits on the VibeSquaD stuff. Are you still keen to do the Zilla stuff? Or?
I think Zilla will end up doing at least 1 gig a year. 1 gig a year, just out of the legacy of, because we started Sonic Bloom, and so we'll always play that. I don't know how much more we're going to do though. It doesn't seem like it has, you know, the members, each member has a reason for wanting to do it and not wanting to do it, and sometimes those are not the same, you know. Anyway, I built this shed.
You built it?
Yeah, it was like just an empty room, unfinished, no walls, nothing, and no power, and it kind of rigged it up so that I could like have a shop and projects and build stuff, and you know, stop motion video worlds where I'm trying to make this little stop motion thing and stuff like that. Yeah, just organizing my tools and finally having everything like where I know where to find stuff. And prior to that, it was just like get the garage, which was I've been dreaming of that. That's like my own personal like, or I really felt like it up my game now that I can be like, oh, I can fix that. Hold on, I've got one of those, and I run off and I get my thing. You know.
Are you so you have like mad carpentry skills? Or?
I would not say mad carpentry skills. I say I am handy enough to like fix something, and I can learn from YouTube. I'm teachable, and I can take my time with something. You know. All right. So down here was just a raw, empty space. And now it is the podcast studio world, jam space. So that tape, I'm like a wannabe drummer. I play all the time. My son plays drums in the jazz band at school. All right,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Cool.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. Thanks, Mr. Bill. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, peace.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Talk soon.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. I love getting excited about a project. Sometimes I'm afraid that I won't get excited about another project. And I'm just done. And there's nothing more compelling than that initial surge of excitement about